Thursday, everybody. Oh, what a great night, huh? So Joe Biden, Merrick Garland, the DOJ, and Special Prosecutor Jack Smith just did something nobody saw coming. They endorsed Donald Trump for president. Hell, they might have even elected him outright. How else could you explain an indictment so lame and overtly political that it's guaranteed to galvanize every Trump voter like funnel cake at a stock car race? There's less meat on this indictment than a turkey carcass in Joy Behar's trash can. Stelter has a better chance at winning a wet T-shirt contest. Don't bother reading it. I can sum it up for you. Donald Trump disagreed with the election outcome. Oh, you thought there'd be more? Sorry, these are Democrats. They don't have to work hard when the media gives them cover. And yes, there's a second part to forget about the Hunter and Joe show. Make news to conceal the real news. Yes, the DOJ and Jack Smith apparently believe that Trump's thought crimes are more insidious than the international racketeering gang known as the Biden clan. Instead, they chase thought crimes. And if thought crimes were prosecutable, we'd all be screwed. Cat would be on death row, complaining about wearing orange. But see, we don't do thought crimes in this country. This isn't Canada. There's a reason the First Amendment is first. It's the thing that makes our Constitution and our nation exceptional. That and ice machines. See, the First Amendment means you can think and even say things that others find objectionable. Like if someone says, I love Brian Kilmeade. It's wrong, it's gross, disgusting even, but you can't arrest someone for it. This also holds true for Donald Trump, and if it doesn't, then you're next. Trump endorsed a protest at the White House on January 6th. Things went bad that day. A collection of yahoos rushed the Capitol and stole Nancy's laptop. Hey, by the way, has anybody, got a copy of that hard drive? Because imagine the stock tips on that one. But just because he endorsed the original protest doesn't mean he's liable for the actions of a horned shaman. Even Judge Janine wouldn't convict, and she thinks sideburns are illegal. Look, if endorsing that protest means Trump's guilty, then most Democrats should be in jail, too. Does anyone recall the 2020 Summer of Love? At least 25 deaths, $2 billion in damage, a federal courthouse set on fire, a police station destroyed, and Kamala's reaction, promoting a bail fund and asking for donations. Setting fire to a federal courthouse, attacking the White House, isn't that like obstructing official proceedings? That's one of the charges, by the way, obstructing official proceedings, or OOPS for short. That's right, Donald Trump has been charged with 2 counts of oops. That's almost as serious as being charged with 1 count of whoops. But legally, that's known as stacking charges, like Nadler does with depends. But in layman's terms, it's they throw the kitchen sink at him, but Biden just banned kitchen sinks. Take this charge, conspiracy against rights. Jack Smith, who is every wild-eyed professor with library breath and a BLM bumper sticker, literally had to reach back to Civil War times for this charge. It's a law designed to keep the Klan from suppressing the black vote in the late 19th century. I mean, this is a bigger stretch than when Tyrus does yoga. What's Smith going to charge Trump with next? Felony witchcraft? The casting of spells? Hey, let's throw Trump in the Potomac to see if he sinks or floats. Meanwhile, the liberal judge, who's been randomly selected to oversee the case, sent all 11 defendants from January 6th to prison. And for several of those defendants, prosecutors didn't even seek prison time, but she still put them behind bars. And instead of spitting, the media just swallows.
One of, if not the most significant case in United States history. It is up there with Dred Scott. It is up there with Brown versus Board of Education.
This is the gravest political crime since secession.
From time to time, America faces threats from monsters who want to destroy our democracy. That happened in 1861. Pearl Harbor, 1941. 9/11, 2001. Donald Trump threatening to do it all again, but even more effectively, saying he's going to institute a presidential dictatorship that we may assume is going to take our democracy away.
Quick, someone call MSNBC. They need more people on screen. It's the world's ugliest yearbook. So why the hyperbole? Because so-called media can't be seen attacking free speech, so they call free speech something else. Bottom line, Stacey Abrams, Hillary, Nancy, Joe all denied electoral outcomes. Obama challenged his opponent's ballot access signatures in Illinois. And there is, in this indictment, no evidence Trump did any more than that, deny the outcome. So since our justice system is currently operating like a Tijuana traffic court, it's really about the next election. Winning a case against a Republican in New York and D.C. is just so much easier than ballot harvesting. But it tells you what happens when you dare to fight. It upsets those in power. This indictment sends a message that there will be no Trump or another one like him, ever. And by waiting until the Archer stuff came out, that pulled the curtain back and showed us how this machine operates. They went too far because they thought they could. Now, if you're inside this story, you don't get the story. But if you step outside of it, you see it's just a political machine trying to crush its challengers. Now, I'm not here to tell you how to vote, but as I said at the top, whether they realize it or not, I think Joe and Merrick, the DOJ, and Jack just did. Tonight's guest, his way with words entertains the rabble and has him undefeated at Scrabble. Novelist and literary critic Walter Kern. He's killed more people than COVID. Former CIA operative Mike Baker. She's like an above-ground pool, refreshing but often found in bad neighborhoods. Fox News contributor Kat
My
Tiff.
dad has an above-ground pool.
And finally, Mars sent rovers to explore him. My massive sidekick in the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Iron. Walter, I have a question for you, but I just want you to speak your mind about this. What are you thinking right now about all of this? The timing is interesting. The charges are based on mind reading. What are your thoughts?
You know, historians like to call America the American experiment. Mm-hmm. And by that, they mean we try things. Mm-hmm. But I'm afraid the American experiment is about to blow up the laboratory. This is a little too much. Mm-hmm. We're now going to have 12 people rather than 80, 75 million decide our elections. Mm-hmm. And it concerns me. But what concerns me more is that we now know what American presidents can't do. Yeah. They can't say, I was robbed.
Yeah.
You know, they can do that in pro wrestling. They can do that in every other sport, but they can't say I was robbed. What they can do is they can put, you know, hundreds of thousands of Japanese citizens in concentration camps in World War II. They can start wars looking for weapons of mass destruction that aren't found. They can, you know, do all sorts of things, but they can't say I was robbed.
Right.
That's going to be illegal. So at least we'll have crossed one crime off the list. It concerns me that about half of America right now is looking for a way out of America. And it's not a good thing.
It is true that, like, the guy didn't start one war, but you know what? He thought he got ripped off. So he's in trouble. I thought, Mikey, and look, you look as rugged as ever.
Thank you. And I'm concerned that we seem to be saying that starting a war is a bad thing. Is that what you're saying, Walter?
It's bad for your business.
Oh, yeah.
It's good for his business.
Right.
It's bad for my son.
Yeah. You know, a great point was made by Ann Coulter. The media is obsessed with January 6th because it's the first mob we've ever seen that wasn't left-wing.
I guess the part that fascinates me the most, right, is because the problem I've always had with Donald Trump is that it's a self-inflicted wound that he usually engages in, right? So his behavior on January 6th, the things that he did, he could have done it better. I agree, the indictment is full of nothing, right? There's nothing there. But you know, the former president has a tendency to create situations that are unnecessary. If he would just step back, if he could rein himself in.
But that's why he got elected.
Well,
he got elected because
exactly.
he fights. It's like you can't turn the faucet off.
Exactly, and that's the problem that we have, right? Because again, the policies were great, right? Again, I'm a small government guy. You know, worry about national security, worry about the borders, financial responsibility. If we could find folks interested in that, but I guess the part, again, that I find most fascinating about this whole story is the randomly selected judge.
Yes.
Who previously, prior to being a judge, worked for the most Democrat linked law firm in this country, right? And
Linked to Burisma.
And also a place where Hunter Biden was of counsel.
Yes.
Right? For 5 years.
Yeah.
And the media is just trying to blow that one over, right?
Yeah,
There's no connection there, just like everything else involving the President Biden's son.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's so many problems here, but deep down, I'm disappointed because I keep thinking that we could have avoided a lot of this chaos if President Trump could have just reined himself in and been a little bit more disciplined. But I don't disagree with your point, which is that's why people voted for him.
And I have to disagree that no matter what you do, they're going to come after you.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have, they didn't, it wasn't January 6th. They impeached him before that for a phone call. Kat, what's your take on, I know you're a legal scholar.
Well, yeah, everybody thinks they're a legal scholar now.
Yes.
So I might as well hop on.
Well, you watched a lot of LA Law growing up.
I don't know what that is. I kept reading it. I was pretty confused because I guess they have to prove that he knew he lost the election and was saying all this stuff anyway. I don't think that he thinks he lost, first of all. I know that he would never say that he lost because he doesn't even say that about golf.
Yeah, exactly.
So how are they intending to prove this? I really don't understand, and I have the same concerns as everybody does as a First Amendment absolutist, regardless of how you feel about any of this, that it should be concerning to see this case that basically hinges on what I believe is pretty clearly free speech.
Mm-hmm. Last word, Tyrus, what are your thoughts?
I always try to take things and look at it in my perspective. Like, if I went to work every day and somebody did something to me to try to make me lose my job, the entire 4 years I worked there, every day, Gutfeld put something in my desk, some drug paraphernalia, a kidnapped victim, like just nonstop, got together with half the office I don't have lunch with, and they all voted to have me fired.
Yes.
I would be not trusting any of them come Christmas time with gifts.
Yeah.
And I think everyone in here would be like, yes, I would not believe one thing that came out of that other side after what they did for you for 4 years. Literally everything they could possibly do with no criminal connection. He was Putin's bitch, then he was Putin's life partner, then he was a dance partner in North Korea.
Yes.
You know, like,
Can you be a bitch and a life partner at the same time?
it's a graduation. Okay. You know what I'm saying? He graduated.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? It started out, he was a side chick, but then they got to know each other, had so much in common. And then one day he just came home, told his wife, listen, it's Trump's time. Yeah. He just gets me.
And then the irony is they stop having sex.
Well, that's usually what happens when you communicate.
Yeah.
So you guys know. And then one day something happens and you don't believe it because you had 4 years of everything you did was destroyed, ruined. His entire presidency was one big coup. And then you have the temerity to say he had no right to think the election was rigged.
Exactly.
He had no right. It's like literally, I mean, you look at anyone's life, take yourself out of the presidency. They're going to get a conviction. That's what they're going to do. They got 73 counts on them now. They just need one. And that's all they're after. But the work is not done. So
and they're sitting, this is now sitting in D.C. And as you pointed out, New York and D.C.
Yeah.
I'm saying now, regardless of whether he's convicted or not, he's going to get elected president because the American people see it. I said it last night. I'll say it again. He changed things.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.